What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about draft prospect Jalon Walker and should the Atlanta Falcons trade up to draft Jalon Walker. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about draft prospect Jalon Walker and should the Falcons trade up to draft Jalon Walker. So Jalon Walker did play his college ball at the University of Georgia. He goes about 6'1", 245 pounds. And he is a guy that's like a Swiss Army knife type player, similar to a Caden Ellis. He's a guy who can play multiple positions. At Georgia, he did play off-ball linebacker. He also played outside linebacker where he was able to rush the passer as well. And he put up some solid numbers last year, put up 60 tackles and about 6.5 sacks for the Georgia Bulldogs. He was one of the heartbeats of that Georgia Bulldogs defense. He did win the Buckets Award that goes to the best linebacker in college football last season. And my thoughts on him possibly being drafted by the Falcons or the Falcons trading up is if the Falcons believe that Jalon Walker is a generational type player, meaning similar to a Julio Jones who recently retired. When we traded up with the Cleveland Browns to take Julio Jones, we gave up a bunch of assets, but Julio Jones is one of those guys from day one that was that number one wide receiver, that bona fide guy that they knew was going to be a generational talent. They felt like he was going to come into the league and be, one of those top wide receivers, a top 5 wide receiver, for his career. And that's what Julio Jones turned out to be. So if they believe that he is a Julio Jones type talent, the guy they keep comparing him to is Micah Parsons, who plays for the Dallas Cowboys. If they believe he's a Micah Parsons type player, I really feel like it would be worth trading up for him. Now, personally, if you ask me, I wouldn't trade up for Jalon Walker because I'm not too sure that he is Micah Parsons. We know that Micah Parsons and Julio Jones, those are, one in a million type players and generational talents. And I don't throw the word elite out there a whole lot. But when you talk about a Julio Jones, he was an elite player. When you talk about a Micah Parsons, he's one of those guys that I consider an elite player. Ever since he's been in the NFL, every single season, he's had double-digit sacks in Micah Parsons. So that would be really big shoes for a Jalon Walker to fill. I really feel like there's enough edge rushers in this particular draft and defensive linemen that the Falcons shouldn't have to trade up for that position. Personally, I like Mike Green a little bit better than a Jalon Walker off the edge. If you're looking for somebody that's going to be a pure pass rusher, I think Mike Green is the best pass rusher in this draft, and he still may be available at that 15th spot. But if the Falcons believe that Jalon Walker, is what they need, if they're looking for a guy that can do multiple things, I do think that Jalon Walker is the most versatile defensive player in this draft, far as in the front seven, because he can do a lot of different things. And if the Falcons are looking for somebody that can fill in at that inside linebacker role, but also rush the passer, similar to what Caden Ellis does for our team currently, then I think they should go after Jalon Walker. But if they're just looking for a pure pass rusher, I say go with Mike Green. You got Donovan Esmeraku out of Boston College. That's a really good pass rusher. You have a ton of guys in this draft that I've watched on film. The James Pierce of the world out of Tennessee. He's a really good pass rusher as well. So I really feel like one of these guys is going to slide to that 15th spot because there's still going to be offensive players that's going to be drafted. And some of these teams need quarterbacks. Some of these teams need wide receivers that's in front of us. Some of these teams need offensive linemen. So a lot of these good defensive edge players, they're going to slide down. So I really feel like if Jalon Walker's not there and he's taken before 15, you still should be able to get your hands on one of these other pass rushers that's in this draft that's really, really good and has put up production. But like I stated, again, if the Falcons believe that he's a generational type talent, if they believe he's Micah Parsons 2.0, then I would, have no problem with the Falcons drafting him because I know that these guys have private workouts with these players. They talk to these players at the combine. They have connections, on and off the field with these guys. So maybe they've seen something that I haven't seen. When I watched this film on Jalon Walker, I really think he's a really good player, but I can't say that he's Michael Parsons. That's taking a huge leap to say he's going to be able to come into the league and have this kind of success that Michael Parsons has had. To be honest with you guys, I don't think when the Dallas Cowboys took Michael Parsons, they thought that he would be this good. I think they thought he would be a pretty good player, and that's the reason why Michael Parsons slid, and he was picked with that number 12th pick in his draft. But I really feel like if they had to do Michael Parsons' draft all over again, I really feel like he would have been drafted higher if they knew what they know now, that he would have been as good as a player and an all-pro player how he's been for the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Jalon Walker. Do you believe that he's one of those guys that the Falcons should trade up for? Like I said, he can do it all. He can cover, he can rush the passer. He can play out in space. So he can do all of the things that the Falcons or any team would need him to do. I just don't know if he can be that bona fide edge that can get you double-digit sacks in the season consistently. So with that being said, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.